Welcome back to episode 33 in the Youthful Revolution series featuring Immortal DC. Season 6 is done and dusted, so let's take a look at the statistics, the data and review of the season. Today we are gonna be starting with looking at something, at least adding to what we are already looking at when it comes to statistics, and that is inside the Premier League statistics here. The team stats. Starting with the average possession. I'm not gonna show all of them, but just some of the more interesting ones, right? Average possession, 35%. I mean, we were never in possession. We never won a game by being in possession. We won it by counter-attacking and just sitting, well, not sitting back, because we were not sitting very far back. We were actually kind of high up the pitch. But still, it's an interesting statistic. It's not very often I've had such a successful season with only 35% possession. That's not ordinary. Another very interesting statistic is that headers won ratio. We are top of that, 56%. That is brilliant. But we do also have quite a good amount of good headers and also jumping reads. A lot of good players with jumping reads in there this time around. But yeah, I'm a little bit surprised to see that we are actually that far up. But we do also top the yellow cards list here. 109 yellow cards along with red cards, 7 red cards. We don't even play Get Stuck In, but we're still up there. We are number 5 when it comes to how many goals we have scored. And it also does show that the expected goals over performance is 5.58, so we are also number 5 in that. But the expected goals for is actually only 48.42, so we're definitely overachieving to some extent when it comes to goal scoring. Non-penalty expected goals per 90 is 1.28, also 6th place here, so again, maybe overachieving a little bit and getting a few more penalties than normally. Well, we don't really have that many. Penalties taken, 6. Not that many, actually. A place where we were really good this season was crossing. Actually, we were sitting top for quite a while here, but yeah, 19%, that is respectable with how many we were making. Because we have completed 163 crosses in total. But a place where we did not cross very well was on corners. Only 3 goals from corners this season. That is terrible. With the way we are playing, we will never be able to have a high completion ratio when it comes to passing. 79%. Yeah, it's extremely low. But we are very direct in the way we are playing. But that doesn't mean we're not creating chances. We actually got 8th in the league here compared to chances, and 94 of them. Yeah, we got 94 chances created. And we're even further up when it comes to shots for, 393, 6th place. Shots on target, also 6th place with 166, so the shots on target conversion here ratio is actually quite low, 42%. Not too great, but it's also not terrible, I would say. And the conversion rate is 13%, which is also not terrible. Something we definitely don't do anymore, where we did do that in the past when we were up against easier opponents or less good opponents when it comes to tackling, is dribbling. We are not dribbling a whole lot with this team right now. On the other hand, we are making a lot of high intense sprints. A little bit surprising to see that the final third passes for the game here is only 45. I thought actually 47. It's not very high, I would say. I expected this to be a little bit higher. We conceded 48 goals, which is making us 9th best in the league for that. And the expected goals against is actually only 54. Well, it's actually very high. It's 54.79. Yeah, that is a lot, right? We should be way lower in the table than what we are when we're looking at the expected goals, shouldn't we? And we did concede a lot of them from corners, or generally speaking, just set pieces. But also, 11 of them is from the corners. Not great. A little bit surprising here. We didn't concede anything from direct free kicks, but yeah, that's the case. What about the indirect? Also, only 1. Wow. So that must be a lot from throw-ins. Can we actually see that? No, I don't think there is a way where we can see anything from throw-ins. That's unfortunate. I think that should be part of the statistics as well. But even with that, we still managed to get 10 clean sheets. But yeah, one of the main reasons why we are conceding that many on set pieces is because we are making a lot of fouls. 700 fouls. Wow. But we are also quite good at winning the ball back. Our tackles are 4th in the league here, which is kind of good when you think about it. You know, player quality and all. 762 tackles, 1. That is pretty good. What is the ratio here? A little bit lower, 78%. In terms of our positioning, but still, that is incredible. I'm very happy about that, actually. As we can see here, possession 1, 3,391 times. And like I said in a couple of episodes ago, we are probably looking at if we were playing second league right now, if we were playing down in the second league, this number would be double of that. One of the most interesting metrics is the opposition passes per defensive action, because it's giving a very good idea of how good our pressures are actually working against this league. 4.83 is not terrible. Again, we need to think about our player quality, and I think it's okay. Compared to where we ended up in the league, that is pretty damn decent. We are not, I mean, we are allowing them to pass it around quite a bit, but at some point we will push in that trigger, and a lot of the times when we do win the ball back, we do get a goal as well. So, I mean, I'm not too surprised to see it a little bit lower than what I would like, but we would like to be up here, of course. But the funny thing is that final third passes against us per game is actually kind of low, 61. So we're not allowing them into our own box area that often, compared to many of the other teams in the bottom here, Vicente. And that's probably why we didn't. I think that's one of the reasons why we actually managed to do as well as we did. So the fans are now showing up in manifold, right? We are maxing out our stadium when we're looking at that. Off the cap, 98%, 3,933. So I guess it was a good idea to actually get 500 extra into the stadium. We probably need a new stadium soon enough. We have 8 sellouts this season, 8 sellouts in the stadiums. Also a funny one is a net transfer spend. We are actually not bottom of the league here. We are we're actually quite far up. We used 8.8 million. So, but salary. Let's take a look at the salary actually, because that's way more interesting. Our salary is at the bottom. Clearly, we are not using a lot of wages compared to the rest here. Not even Vincente, MRT, Olivirense, Casapia. None of them are used. I mean, we are using almost nothing here. But we did spend money, 8.8 million. Where did we spend 8.8 million, I wonder? I don't remember spending 8.8 million. But okay, fair enough, game. Yeah, that seems a little bit wrong, because I don't remember that. But yeah, the salary cap, 8.32 million in salaries, which is very low, of course. Alright, so let's go into the data hub, and unfortunately, for whatever reason, I'm not sure if it's because I'm changing skins or I don't know, but it seems to be resetting every single season, where it's just taking every single thing of these out, and then I need to redo it. So I think we're just gonna go by whatever we're pushing in here. I'm taking quite a few, of course, but yeah, it seems to be always resetting. I don't understand why that is. But it could be something I'm doing. I'm not too sure. But let's just take them, you know, down the list here as they come. The XG table. Well, I think we did quite good here, right? We are actually 7th in the expected points position here. That's kind of interesting, but we are at the 8th place. I don't think we would ever get that 7th place, but okay, fair enough. I mean, we did really well here. +1 on the expected points. +5 in XG, -6 in the expected goals against. Wow, so we definitely did way better defensively than what we did earlier in the season, because this was -8, I think, at some point. Now it's -6. Sorry, +6. No, it was +8, and now it's -6. So I mean, that form near the end of the season just fantastic, right? Defensive efficiency, quite in the middle of the park here. Bossy defense, but also a leaky defense. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of expected, wasn't it? Same goes for the goalkeeping. Kind of a leaky defense, but bossy defense here in the middle of the park. We are facing a lot of shots, and we also conceded quite a few. But yeah, it's not bad. Where we were really good, as we also could see in the other statistics on the Premier League, is our tackling. Strong tackling, lots of tackles. We are looking really solid in there. And this is, of course, the general team defending kind of polygram. Is that what it's called? Polygrams, I think it's called. Yeah, I mean, it's what we already have seen. It's quite good. I mean, I'm not too worried about it. I think we did really well defensively overall. There was a couple of games. Yeah, there will always be a couple of games when your player quality is just way lower than the rest. But with what we have, we did really well. The pressing intensity have definitely gone down, but I don't think it's because of us changing to a different tactic or anything. Again, it's just about the player quality. It's really, really hard to put in a really good pressure when the opposition is incredibly good on the ball. So I'm actually not worried about this. We're still in the green metric, which I could have expected us to be in the red, to be honest. But of course, it's nowhere near what we did a couple of seasons ago, where we were really far down here. Also in the pitch tilt, which we will get to. But yeah, of course, I think this is good. I think actually this is a good kind of... I think I'm happy with this one. And the crossing was, of course, also pretty good this season. Lots of crosses, accurate crossing. I'm very happy about that. Of course, nowhere near Porto or Lisbon or Benfica's kind of numbers here. But still, I think it's good for us, this one. Set piece attacking efficiency, yeah, we were actually not terrible. I mean, we didn't really get a lot of set piece goals from corners, but we did manage to get a lot of set piece goals from throw-ins, where we also are crossing it in. So at least like 9 out of 10 times on those, you know, on those throw-ins, we did actually manage to cross it in when we get the ball. So yeah, it's pretty good. I'm okay with this. Attacking efficiency, aggressive shooting, clinical shooting. Yeah, in the middle of the park here, but in the green. So again, pretty good. But here we can really see the picture of goal from set pieces. It's actually low number of set piece goals, which I don't get because... that means that the throw-ins is not getting registered as a goal for a set piece, right? It means that as soon as you have thrown that in and the next pass after that is no longer part of that set piece routine, which I think is wrong. I think it's how it's gonna be registered in the game as a data. I think that's wrong because otherwise we would be way over here, right? If that was the case. So the throw-ins doesn't really get into these metrics, which I don't understand because it's definitely a set piece. And the general team attacking here in the polygram is a little bit low, I would say, in some cases. But then again, fouls against per game is... yeah, we're not getting fouled because we are just directly getting it up there. Just hoofball. Nah, not really hoofball, just that very direct kind of ball. Pass completion is very low. Cross completion is very good. Dribbles, nah, we don't do that. Shots per target, it just looks bad, but it's actually okay. We're in the places where we want to see it high, it's high, right? It's not extremely high, but it's good enough for me to say this tactic definitely worked. Shooting, we are straight on the line between good and bad here, and yeah, we didn't have that many shots per game, but we had enough to get the goals we needed, and also just about clinical enough to get the goals we needed here. So pretty good, pretty good. And of course to the pitch tilt, right? I kind of knew this would be the case here. Normally the pitch tilt is showing us that we are really down here, like with Sporting and Benfica and stuff, but we're nowhere near that. And we took a bit of a chance playing the way we are playing, but I would never change that, right? I would never change the way, just because we're going up to a quality that is so much higher than us, I wouldn't change it anyway. But yeah, fewer passes against in the final third, fewer passes for in the final third. We were just way more direct, where in the last couple of seasons, we still had enough of a gap, or less of a gap behind the player quality to still be able to play a bit more ball than what we did in this season. This season, it was just straight up to the end and just try and get a goal, right? This time around, it's... I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Hopefully we can change this over time, where we get a little bit more on the ball as well, and maybe have a little bit more possession and control the games a little bit more that way. But yeah, I'm not too surprised to see the pitch tilt like this. And the last one here when it comes to the team, yeah, possession. Frequently wins the ball. Yeah, we definitely do that. And that's important that we do frequently wins the ball. But we are losing possession. No surprises there because of how direct we play. So the player data hub here was also just absolutely... I don't know why it's resetting, but let's just go through them step by step here. So goalkeepers, we have Birocci as the only one in here. And he looked like he's kind of in the middle of the park, but in the green, he is absolutely saving quite a few. I think he was actually one of the best players this season to me. Defending midfielders. Yeah, I mean, some of our midfielders are definitely important to be defending when it comes to our, you know, defensive midfielders, funny enough. João Paulo looks really good. Flamel actually looks really good. And where is Valencia? He's way in here. That's interesting. I thought he would be better defensively, but of course he was playing Segunda Volante. So yeah, but I think we are doing okay in terms of you know, blocks and clearances when it comes to our defenders here. Not that that's actually very important. I think the tackling is way more important than blocks and clearances. But yeah, okay. I mean, I took this metric, so there it is. Just for the sake of it, let's take a look at our defenders when it comes to the defending part as well, when it comes to blocks and clearances. I don't actually think... I think this is a wrong metric to look at. But let's just take a look at it anyway. I don't really see anything here. I can't really tell if this is good or bad, to be honest. Yeah, it's kind of... yeah, this metric is actually really, really strange. There must be something better in here, right? There must be something better. Tackling, right? That's the one we are looking for. Maybe also physical output. But yeah, tackling is just a way better metric. Why did it put it down here? Let's finish the editing. Let's take a look at the tackling instead. So tackling midfielders, Ramirez is really, really up there. Da Silva is up there. Gonçalves, that's interesting. I did not expect to see our wingers being up there, but okay, that's pretty good. I mean, that's incredibly good, actually. I did not see that coming. And how about the defenders here? How are they tackling? Well, Luca looks really solid in there. Benali is an interesting one to see in there. But the central defenders are not really that great. But I think it's more because of... It's not very often that the ball is getting in there where they are actually capable of tackling them, right? It's not very often it actually happens. More often than not, they're going to go out on the wing and then cross it in. And then they are not going to tackle, they're going to clear it or something like that, right? So, yeah, it's, I mean, overall, I'm very happy about the defensive duties here, or the defensive metrics. Assisting midfielders, yeah, I mean, we are not really trying to assist from the midfield all that much. We are trying to assist from the wing backs, probably more. But I think maybe someone like Da Silva and Ramirez should have been a little bit higher here. Assisting forwards, we definitely have Hugo in there, who is, yeah, what is this? Assist per 90. He's really far up, especially compared to his passes attempted. Yeah, I'm very happy about Hugo here. Gregolin also pretty good. He did get quite a few assists as well. A very important metric to us is, of course, the crossing. And we're looking at the midfielders here on the left-hand side. Ramirez and Da Silva. Lots of crosses, not quite connecting too well. So I'm wondering where all of our good crosses came from. Probably the wingback. Yep, it's Hopfer. Hopfer did a lot of the good crossing here. Honestly, it's a bit surprising because his crossing is only like 8 or 9. But he did a lot of the good crosses here. So yeah, that's very good. Also, I guess you could also say that Reinhardt and Reis also did a lot. Well, they didn't do a lot of crosses, but when they did do them, they were quite accurate. But yeah, Hopfer on over 30%. That's incredible. Crosses completion 32, crosses attempted 4.45 per 90. Wow, he was just outstanding in that. He is definitely one of the reasons why we got as many goals from crosses as we did. Who got the goals and why? I don't know, but yeah, Imbalo is up there. I think he's actually gonna leave after this season. We have quite a few players that are actually leaving, and yeah, they didn't take their contracts and they wanted to go somewhere else and stuff like that. But yeah, I think Imbalo is one of them. So high scoring, aggressive shooting. Okay, well, sure. Carrera is in there as well, which is, yeah, I don't know what to say here, because he got that double hat trick kind of thing, but he didn't really score a lot of goals outside of that. So it didn't really help us out all that much, but I still hope that he can be a good player for us in the future. Gregolin, a little bit lower, but still probably the best striker this season, I would say. Scoring midfielders, of course, it's going to be an important metric here, but Ramirez actually did really well. I like where he is here. When he did manage to get up there and get a shot on, yeah, pretty good. High scoring, aggressive shooting. Valencia, I think some of this is also because he's taking penalties, so I don't think he's actually that high up. We need to remember that as well. Expected attacking output for forwards. Well, I am surprised to see Imbalo up there. That's a strange one. But look at that. Jerry Carrera, way over here. I don't like that. That is open play expected assist. Oh, okay. So what are we looking at here? Non-penalty XG. So he's actually okay. Jerry Carrera looks okay. He just doesn't get a lot of assists probably. As we know, we were pretty good in the air. And when it comes to our strikers, there is a couple of, you know, of course, Di Paula is in there. But I am surprised to see Gregolin in here. He shouldn't be that good in the air, but he was. He was absolutely fantastic in the air. Again, one of the reasons why we got as many good crosses in is probably because of Gregolin. He was in there and winning those headers. So yeah, that's very, very good to see that we have Greg, and I think Gregolin is going to be staying, right? He's going to be staying unless someone is coming in with a really big bid. He's probably going to be here next season, but he is an injury prone, so you know, hopefully, you know, cross your fingers and everything that he's not getting injured next season. And I think the same can be said about the midfielders here. Both of our wingers, Ramirez and Da Silva, was getting into the box area quite often, and they did win the headers in there. They are quite a big kind of lads, both of them. And that is probably important to say when we're talking about how good we were on the crosses. It's also because these guys coming in there against their wingbacks or fullbacks, where they're just way taller than them, way better in the air, and they are winning those crosses right there and getting the goals right. Ramirez and Da Silva also get a couple of goals by that. So yeah, I think this is a very good metric to look at. Also thinking about that going forward, that probably we want our wingers to be fairly tall, or not tall, but just very good in the air, basically. I don't actually think our defenders are all that great in the air. They're okay. I mean, they're not bad. Tressa was pretty good. Reinhardt was really good in the air, and yet he did actually also get a couple of goals, Reinhardt, and so did Tressa in on call. Did they not get a single corner goal? I mean, we did get a corner goal, but yeah, we are not quite. I mean, they're not that great, any of them. But I think those two are pretty good. I think Reinhardt could be a central defender next season instead of an inverted wingback or whatever we tried to play him as this season. I think he's probably better as a central defender overall. Alright, so let's go over to the squad screen and let's just take a look at these metrics that I also like to look at. The average rating, the points, and the team conceded kind of things. And figure out who we think is gonna be the player of the season. So, in terms of average rating, we're definitely looking at Gregolin, Imbalo. I mean, as a sub, Imbalo was really good here. Birotti is up there, De Paula. He didn't play the full season, of course. He had a long-term injury as well. And Hopfer is also up there with 6.98. At least to me, that's pretty decent. I guess we could also bring Hugo in here, but I'm gonna leave him out on that one. On the other end of the scale, we of course got Flamel. Of course, defensive midfield. Defensive midfield is always going to be down here somewhere. But yeah, not too good by Flamel. Calhau, Nigi Caron, not too great here. Jurgensen didn't really play a lot. Vanderson is out on loan. Benali, that's maybe a little bit low for the inverted wingback. But here's the thing, he's not an inverted wingback, but I played him as an inverted wingback. So, you know, I can't really complain too much about that. Fabi Gonçalves, also a little bit low for me, because he did play Segundo Volante when he played, so I don't think that's too good. Points of 1 per game. I love this metric. Mateus is up there. I mean, he didn't play, you know, a lot of games, but when he did play, he actually did really well in terms of points per game. He came on in a lot of games and he secured those points, right? But of course, a lot of these guys like Mateus and Hugo here and also Gonçalves, they're coming off the bench when it is already secured, right? We are already 2 or 3-0 up or something like that. Then they come in and they get their you know, stats boosted basically. Hopfer, he's up there, right? And he's a starter. He's not a sub, so that is probably the one that is very, very high here. Also, Adrio. I think Adrio is also worth... He's definitely worth a mention here. He did really well, and he played both central defender and defensive midfielder for the season. I don't know which one he actually played the most. Let's actually see that. Well, it's very 50-50 here. 10 DC, 7 DM. And he did quite well in both roles, so I'm very happy about that one. But yeah, Imbalo as well. I think Imbalo is worth a mention as well, even as that super sub. I mean, 5 goals, 3 assists, and 7 starts and 15 subs. Pretty good. On the other end of the spectrum, we have Sambu on 1.29, so he's not winning a lot. Well, he don't have a lot of games, so I don't think we can actually take him into account. Correra, on the other hand, yeah, that ain't good. That ain't good. Oh, it's this one. 0.96. That is really low. That is really, really low. Reis is down here. He didn't have a good season. He also was injured for some part of it, but not a good season by Reis standards, I would say. De Paula is also down here, so even though he did okay himself, he didn't really secure us a lot of points, to be honest. Flamel, absolutely terrible here. He should be way higher. As a defensive midfielder, he should be way higher. I think Flamel is probably one of the worst players in here. Gregolin, that's a bit surprising. I thought he would be higher up, but yeah, he's also down here. Team goals conceded, and we are looking at the positive way around it this time around. So Gonçalves, 0.86, that is extremely low. But of course, he didn't play that many games. But when he came on, it seems like they didn't score a lot, so that's good. Luca, that's very good on 20 games. And what? Let's just pull this over a little bit. 20 and 14. That's a good number. That's a good number of him. Da Silva did quite well, and we also saw how good he were at tackling, actually. That's pretty good, Da Silva. Hopfer is also in here, and João Paulo, the defensive midfielder, is also in here. I think João Paulo was actually quite good. 6.83, 1.45, 127, and yeah, he did quite well as a defensive midfielder this season for us. And on the other end of the spectrum here, again, Correa, he was letting in. I mean, he's just not good, right? He's just not good. Unfortunately, that 3.4k in wages just didn't work out. I mean, yeah, he's scoring a couple of goals here and there, but it was all of them basically in the same 2 or 3 matches. He didn't spread them out. So I think he has been the disaster signing this season, and I was kind of worried about that would happen. But yeah, not great by him. Reinhardt also not looking too hot here. Hugo not looking good. Calhau not looking too great, I would say. Mateus and Caron. Ramirez is also down here. 1.55. Not too great, I would say. But then again, yeah, I think when we see someone like Da Silva up here and his counterpart Ramirez down here, that definitely speaks to that Ramirez is not doing his work when it comes to defensive duties. So who is the player of the season for me? I'm gonna go with Hopfer. I think our captain had a fantastic season, just playing almost the entire season here, 31. Actually, I don't know. I'm between Hopfer and also our goalkeeper. Where is he? I can't see him in here. Berucci. I think, you know what? No, I'm gonna give it to Berucci. I think Berucci on 7.06 here was fantastic. He was just absolutely fantastic, Berucci, this season. He kept a lot. He had like, what, 10, 11 clean sheets or whatever it was. Let's actually take a look at the metrics here for goalkeeper. Yeah, expected goals prevented, 0.18. That's pretty decent. The clean sheets, 0.29. Possession won, not that often, but possession lost. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to him. He was very, very good. He was very, very good, yeah. Oh my god. This is the first time ever in FM24 that I have proposed to take something out of the objectives. And they actually agreed right away. They agreed right away to do it. I took out the, what's it called, passing, right? Possession style football. And they just agreed to it right away. So we still have the set pieces in there, which is fine. But we took out the most important one to get out because we are still a couple of seasons away from probably playing possession style football. So that's incredible. Informational objective, build a new stadium as well. We have added this to feel, as we feel the club should be showing ambition by looking to build a new stadium. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's probably what we need to do. But just getting that possession one out of this one is important. Absolutely important to get it out. Oh yeah, we can see it here in the previous objectives. Play possession football, right? We got that one out. That was also disappointing. We also were pretty disappointing on set pieces. I personally don't believe so, because I think the throw-ins, which is a set piece, absolutely worked brilliantly. But I think they're only really talking about the corners and, free kicks, which we are not really good at. But yeah, very good to get that one out. Fantastic. Oh, here we go. Board plans to build a new stadium. So it is happening even before we're getting into the review here. They are announcing a new stadium. Good. Also a little bit of a quick update on our loan deals and how they actually managed to do out there on loan. We don't have a lot out there. We also recalled a couple because they either wasn't playing or got an injury or something like that. But I think one to highlight here is Padillar. Padillar had a fantastic season in the Portuguese second league here, and I think he will probably be part of the squad next season. He looks absolutely fantastic right now. Here we go, end of season review. Let's take a look. A season to remember. Oh yeah, that was, I mean, the last couple of seasons have been something to remember, but this one especially, I think, on an 8th place league table here. That was brilliant. That was just absolutely fantastic. The board is loving it, of course. Yeah, I'm very happy about that. Portuguese Cup, it is what it is. We lost to VTSC here. It's not too important to me. No, not yet, not yet. It will be in the future. I would like to win it at some point. Also with the Portuguese League Cup, I would also like to win that one at some stage, but we're not quite there yet. Moments to remember. Biggest win, a 6-1 in the League Cup here against Mafra. Yeah, that's... okay, sure. And matches to remember, Rio Ave. I don't know what it thinks about the match to remember here, but I don't think this is a match to remember at all. We had a couple of really big wins against some pretty good teams. And why would it not take one of those instead of a draw here against Rio Ave? A mid-team, right? That doesn't really make sense to me. Goal of the season, at least according to these guys, was in Mafra, Benali. Well, let's take a look at it. So I actually don't have this one on my list, so let's see what it is. It's when Piguinhar was still around when we got this one. Benali with a, okay, just I mean, it's decent. It's definitely decent. But yeah, like I said, that is not in my top 3, so why not let's go look at my top 3 instead here. And number 3 here is a goal by Gregor Lane against Rio Ave. There we go, also a long shot. Number 2 on my list is against Benfica of all. So yeah, Vitor Hugo here, kind of a random one, but he lobbed it over the goalkeeper. I love it. But of course, my favorite one was this one by Valencia. I can watch that a couple of times yet. So yeah, there we go. Absolutely brilliant. To be honest here, I just, this time around, I don't agree with this goal of the season. I think all of my 3 goals that I put in there is better than that one. I guess maybe the third one is not, it's kind of the same kind of deal with Benali's goal. But I still think the first and second one is just way better than this one that they put in here. So yeah, I just don't agree this time around. The finances, which is, well, sort of the same, but still going up, I would say, overall. The sponsor deals, of course, but more importantly, the merchandise, because it's fun to look at. 169k in merchandise this time around. That's pretty damn good. I like that. Correa is... what? Why is Correa the most sold shirt? He was terrible, wasn't he? Borucci I can get behind, Gregolin I can get behind, DePaula and Jurgensen, of course, of how long they've been at the club, I can get behind, but Correa, no. And this is how we lined up according to the game. Borucci, Hopfer, Reis, Tressa, Benali, Valencia, João Paulo, Ramirez, Tinaglia, Gregolin and DePaula. Yeah, I guess that's okay. And now to the accolades. Probably the most fun one to look at. Fans player of the season was Gregolin. So not one of the two that I was kind of naming, Hopfer, but more so actually our goalkeeper. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I guess Gregolin was the best when it comes to goal outputs and assists as well. He was pretty good on the assists. So young player of the season is also Gregolin. Signing of the season, João Paulo. Yeah, I mean, he was a pretty good season. Yeah, he had a pretty good season, I would say, as a defensive midfielder here. João Paulo, I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Goal of the season, Benali, I don't agree with that at all. Ivan Valencia was top goal scorer as the Segunda Volante. I mean, of course, he had like 6 goals or 7 goals and penalties, so yeah. Most assist, oh, it was actually Hopfer, so it wasn't even Gregolin. Yeah, Hopfer with the most assist here. Most player of the match award, 3 for Hopfer as well. Highest average rating was Gregolin, so that's probably why he probably edged out on the player of the season. Most passes completed per 90 was João Paulo as the defensive midfielder. Most goals by a player in the match, Valencia, 3 goals. I mean, we have a couple of players that have 3 goals, so I don't think it's a record-breaking thing. Same with this one, most goals in a league match, same deal. I don't understand why it's putting it in here, because that's already been done a couple of times now. Most assists by a player in a season, 11. Really? Is it? I'm surprised that we haven't... Okay, I mean, again, it's just showcasing how good Hopfer was this season. Worst discipline, so we have a breaker here. Benali with 16 yellow cards. That's insane. 16 yellow cards. Highest transfer fee, Valencia, definitely worth it. Absolutely worth it. 350k. Tinaglia, highest transfer fee received. Yeah, that was good money. That's really good American money right there. Alrighty guys, so I think that's gonna be it for this episode, just about the data hub and all the statistics and the review itself as well. I don't want to make them too long, the episodes. I'd rather just make a couple of more of them. So yeah, there we are. Next time we are probably gonna look at, you know, players we're gonna sell, who we're gonna keep, you know, details like that, and also the start to the transfers and stuff like that probably. I'm not too sure. We also need to take a look at what we are banning and unbanning in the tactic. All of that kind of jazz. So anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this one. I know it's a bit dry. Well, sort of. It depends on what you like, I suppose. I like this kind of stuff. That's why I do it. So anyway, I hope you're enjoying it, and I'll see you around next time.